Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bash, the prop slayer, and today I'm going to show you how I made Sesshomaru's armor all out of EVA foam. I bought a costume replica from eBay, but the only useful piece out of the package was the kimono. I started out drawing several templates on paper. The shape of the armor was based on another armor design I made previously. Once I got the shape and size to my liking, I transferred it onto some 6mm foam. Then I used an extendable blade and cut on the innermost part of my Sharpie line. After cutting the main torso, I patterned the metal attachments that make up the details on the front and the back. The large piece is made out of 4mm foam, and the smaller piece is made with 2mm foam. I did the same for the shoulder piece and used 6mm floor mat foam. I sculpted all the spikes with some generic foam clay, but they shrunk a pretty sizable amount. I covered it up with more foam clay to beef them up later. To secure the armor around my torso, I hot glued Velcro strips to either side of the back. The soft side was glued straight to the foam, and the hard side was attached to some elastic bands on the opposite side. Off camera, I also added a border section to the top of the armor. This isn't necessary, but it does add some dimension to the armor. I glued everything together with a double adhesive method of contact cement and super glue. You could also use hot glue, but wearing this on your body, especially in the summer, creates a lot of heat, and the pieces can melt off. To attach the details to the torso, I had to add a very small piece to the top section. This stays hidden, but it keeps the piece from caving or warping or doing anything weird. I used magnets on the back details so I can easily remove the armor while also covering the gap where the two pieces attach. Because of the curve of the shoulder piece didn't line up directly with the back, I added a small triangular piece of foam to account for the difference and keep the outer sweep of the armor. Then I reinforced the inside of the shoulder piece with a 2mm strip of foam. After the fabrication was all done, I hit it with a heat gun off camera, and then I seal it with Plasti Dip to get it ready for paint. I base coat the metallic bits with some Rust-Oleum hammered silver. When I'm working with rattle can paints, my first coat is always a light dusting, then allowed to dry. Then I go for full coverage on my second and third coats. Black 3.0 is brushed onto the torso in thin layers. This stuff likes to clump if you rush the paint. Plaid FX metallic chainmail and samurai sword give the shoulder and spikes a lot more dimension. I stipple the brighter metallics on the high areas and shade the recesses with the darker metallics. This finishes the main torso armor. I tied 2 red tassels to the front armor plating later, and you'll get to see those in a little bit. I made a foam belt to attach the sashes and the panels that are underneath the armor. This isn't necessary, but it will go a long way in terms of the finished look. Elastic bands are attached to the foam belt to secure the sashes. I also glued them down onto the belt so that they wouldn't move around. Velcro strips were then attached similarly to how I did the main torso. These black panels came as one piece whenever I received this from Amazon. So what I did was I cut them up into 3 different pieces. And then I hot glued them on to get the correct spacing. Off camera, I also added an internal nylon strap behind the sash. This allows me to slip the Tenseiga sheath in and out very easily while also securing it at the angle that I want. And that's it. Overall, there is a lot of work that I put into refurbishing this cheap costume, but the best part about these types of builds is you can do as little or as much as you want depending on the time you want to dedicate to making it better. It's also a great way to kick off an idea so you're not starting from scratch, especially when you don't know how to make a sword or sew together a kimono.